Welcome back to Wigan Weekly, your Ghost podcast for all things Wigan. Lads, we've got a match-packed episode for you today. I'm joined by my good friend Curtis. How you doing, Curtis? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thanks. You know, it's been a good week for the Latics, so I'm happy. How's it going with you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. And we're also joined by fellow supporter and popular man on the channel. It is Ryan. You're all right, Ryan? How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks. All good.
Good, man.
Cracking weekend.
Good.
2 wins on the bounce,
Absolutely.
which is safety. Well, hey.
Yeah, it is. And getting straight into it, we'll start with Shrewsbury away. It was a good game, that. A tough on the road, but we got the job done. Obviously, first time playing Glen Whelan ball for a while. I think we did, lads. Good performance, do you think?
To be honest, yeah, but we were playing for nothing and they were playing for pride, really, after getting confirmed as being relegated.
Yeah.
So I think that Shrewsbury were their heads had dropped and they were just playing for pride then.
Yeah, pride, a little bit of... it's been a pretty bad season, one of the worst seasons for a while in League One, by any means. They've struggled Shrewsbury. What's your thoughts on that, Curtis?
I mean, it is quite unfortunate, and I think, you know, they've been in League One for a decade now, and, you know, some would say they've had pretty low finishes over these years, but I think, to be honest, if you're staying up and you're doing all right for yourself, then what's the real sort of problem? You know, you're playing comfortably at a certain level, but obviously, you know, it's unfortunate that we've got 4 teams that go down in this league, and I think, unfortunately, you know, with some of the teams we've had like come down on that, it's made this league a bit more sort of competitive this year, I'd say. I think, you know, they gave an all right fight when they came to our place. It was just sort of unfortunate that we gave them a draw back in, December. I think they're an all right team. I'd like to see them do well in League Two, and that's all I can really say on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say they're quite a boring football team, if I'm being honest. Not much to them, but you can't argue that we're in the similar road, to be honest.
I agree with both of you on that one. I just agree with you both. I think that when we won it the first time, they was up there with us. I think it was it us, Blackburn, Burton and Shrewsbury?
Blackburn? When's this?
Yeah. Oh,
What year is it you're talking about?
I think it was in 20... I don't know. I can't remember. But they've been up there with us, challenging, and we won it. So, unlucky then.
In terms of the full-time score, ended 1-0. Goal from Dale Taylor again. Assist from Elise Asamoah. In my opinion, it looked more like an accidental pass. I don't know if it was a cross or not, but we're not complaining. Dale Taylor scores again. He's been brilliant this season, hasn't he?
Yes. I think Elise Asamoah is rapid.
Yeah.
I thought that was a shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
On Friday, that was a shot, and very fortunate for us, Dale Taylor got on the end of it and we won. But other than that, I think Shrewsbury didn't create anything. They were, like I said before, they were just playing for pride, really.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is, in League Two, you are going to struggle.
Yeah, you are. A very tough league to get out of.
If you don't buy players in, and then they don't adapt straight away to the manager's playing style, you are going to have a long, long, hard season in League Two. I'm sorry, but I can't see Shrewsbury coming up next season.
No, I can't. I think that an interesting one. Obviously, Gareth Ainsworth left quietly. But I mean, I feel like Gareth Ainsworth went for the money, really. I think Gillingham offered him a bit more of a better contract, but it's what it is, really. But he left him in quite a bad situation in Shrewsbury. Not great from Ainsworth's point of view, but yeah, it is what it is. Anything more to say, you, Curtis, about Saturday's performance?
Well,
Friday's performance, even?
Well, I mean, I think most of it's been covered. I mean, I know you've said, we've not really got anything to play for, but at that time, there was still a potential chance we could have been in the top relegation spot. So there was still a little bit of something for us to play for. And obviously, we came across the line on Monday. So I think, another season of League One football secured. Yeah, we can talk about the Rotherham game next if you want.
Yeah,
can I just say something, boys?
No, I'm joking.
Another season.
Yeah.
With Bolton Wanderers, that's all I can say.
Oh, yeah. Another
well, not confirmed yet, but it's unlikely.
Another season with Bolton.
Well, actually, I mean, at the minute, what's the league table looking like? I think Bolton are on 66 points.
Yeah, but to be fair, they have beaten us. They did beat us, so that's massive for their season, really.
Yeah, but then every game they've played since us, they've lost.
Yeah, but beating us, and that's their season.
Do you know what the statistic is there?
No.
They've won. No, sorry, they've lost. They've lost 7 out of the last 9.
Well, I know that you mentioned, Curtis, about maybe that wasn't worth sacking, because I personally think that you made a good argument that, to be fair, I think they've not done any better than they would have done with Everett, to be honest. I think Everett was a better manager to some extent.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we shouldn't really be talking about this because it's going off topic a bit, but I mean, like you say, with Bolton, they're on 66 points, and Reading are on 72, so theoretically, if it was to happen, it'd be down to goal. No, hang on, yeah. Leyton Orient and Reading are both on 72, so I think it's out the window for them, If we can, get back to our winning ways against Bolton next season, you'd think it'd be a nice 6 points. Well, I mean, there's always them nerves whenever it comes to a derby day. And I mean, I knew that the 10-year run would end at some point.
Well,
not really. I thought you were quite... You were pretty...
It had to be, really. It did have to come to an end somewhere.
Not really, because after Maloney would have easily got the win there, to be honest.
And unfortunately, it came at home, so...
92nd minute of all time as well.
I know. That was the heartbreaking thing.
It was. Anyway, moving on, we'll get into Rotherham game, which was yesterday afternoon. I mean, the first first 20, 25 minutes were amazing. Bit poor, but we certainly found some feet. A James Carragher header, which we'd like to see again. His second career goal, already not far behind his father, Jamie, which is quite a statistic, to be honest. What is the pair of your thoughts on yesterday's emphatic win?
I thought that there could have been more goals.
Yeah.
But Rotherham are in the position they are because they can't finish. They can't even finish their dinner.
Yeah, I mean...
I think that they are a very competitive team.
I've got to put Ryan, dead quick, I've got a question for you.
Go on.
When Steve Evans get this Mackey's job?
He's already got it.
Yeah.
I tell you now, he's the manager at the Wigan store in Newtown. Honest to God, but like I said, Rotherham are one of those teams. They'll bully you and bully you and bully you.
But they can't score goals too.
But they can't score.
No, they can't.
I think their top scorer is
Sam Nombe, isn't it?
Who?
Sam Nombe.
Sam Nombe, yeah. Is it 5?
No way. It's more than that, surely. 5 goals.
I don't know. I don't have a clue. But I know the number 9 is it Harris Clark, whatever you call him.
Johnson Clark Harris, yeah.
That's him, yeah. I think if he came on, that game would have been a completely different complexion, and I think we'd have drawn that one.
I'm pretty sure he did come on, to be fair.
Oh, if he didn't. Wait, if he did, he didn't.
I'm going to check that, actually. I want to know. Yeah, he did come on, and he didn't really do anything. He did not do anything, to be honest. So, thankfully, he was quiet. Their team, realistically, is pretty good. Players like Malik Wilkes, who does cause trouble. But to be fair, I feel like we did a good job yesterday, overall.
Yeah, I thought we got the job done. 2 clean sheets over them.
Survival as well.
Survival, yep. I mean, in the Boxing Day goal by a very, very rare goal by our very own Babaradico.
Yeah.
And his second career goal by James Carragher, and I thought he's going to be something else. He is. He'll turn out like his dad.
I don't know. I feel like he is a bit. I don't know. I feel like his age is against him a little bit. He's 22, is he? I don't know. I feel like to make it to the big level in the next 5 years, it will be some ass. But you don't know.
Yeah, true. I agree with that one.
But he could prove us wrong. You never know. And I hope he just gets somewhere, but I can't see him getting. I can see him being a good EFL player, but I couldn't see him reaching Prem heights. Put it that way.
I couldn't see him reaching big boy league, which is Premier League.
Not at all. Okay, well, with that, final game of the season on Saturday. It's a massive game. It's a local derby, Blackpool at home. How big is this game, boys?
Massive.
Yeah. Predictions early? Go on, Curtis, you go first.
I was thinking 1-1.
Okay, Ryan?
Well, seeing as they played Wrexham yesterday, and they lost, I think they've looked at fixtures and gone, hey, look at this. A Lancashire derby next, away at Wigan. I think they'll be brimming with confidence, but I can see us winning 1-0 again.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I can get behind that.
Yeah, can I just say I could also sort of get behind a win. I mean, I'm going for a draw because I'm never the most optimistic because of the amount of goals we've scored this season. But obviously, I mean, it is Blackpool and we are fairly similarly matched. You know, head to head all time, 23 won, 11 drawn, 20 lost. So I think there's a potential to get some points. And I mean, I would like to say, you know, we obviously drawn 3 and won 2 of the last 5. So, you know, the form seems to be picking up. So I'd like to be optimistic on this one.
Yeah. That one. Curtis, that's a fair point made. That's a very good point made, mate. I'm telling you.
A couple of former Wigan, a few former Wigan players back in the building on Saturday. We got Kyle Joseph, Lee Evans, Ashley Fletcher. 3 individuals I wouldn't say ever did a huge amount. I mean, Evans was good for Wigan, but the other two.
Evans was decent.
Yeah.
I never actually got to see Kyle Joseph.
Yeah.
And as for Ashley Fletcher, he couldn't even hit a chocolate factory barn door, eh? He's useless.
That's a brilliant analogy. That is
He's absolutely useless, mate. I'm telling you. He's absolutely dreadful.
Obviously, Steve Bruce is the gaffer now, and I think it's fair to say that he took a bit of a downgrade from his usual. His usual CV has been with decent teams recently. He's been obviously former Wigan manager back in 2007-09. He's been at Sunderland, Sunderland, Wednesday, Newcastle, West Brom. He's had a good CV. You could argue, like I say, Blackpool is a bit of a downgrade for his usual expertise, but he's certainly doing an okay job. Nothing special, but he's steady with shit for the time being.
Yeah, but from the way I look at it, for me personally, it was treated harshly at Wigan.
Yeah.
And when we played Sunderland, when he was manager,
Yeah.
we unfortunately got him sacked. Oops.
Yeah.
And I think, for me, given this will be his second full season,
Okay, yeah.
next season will be his second full season, I think he needs to bring in his own caliber of player, his own type of player. But he definitely does need a goal scorer.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think losing Ollie Norburn and losing Niall Ennis to us.
Well, I doubt. I actually was going to ask that. Do you think that Niall Ennis will be a good fit for Wigan's system?
Yes.
Really? I don't know. I think personally,
Yes,
I think his goal scoring stats are a bit hit and miss. But yeah, I do think he could be a good player to bring in summer. But for me, Wigan for me, our transfer policy and our transfer action is very poor and very slow. I would be surprised if that deal was completed. I'm not gonna lie.
What we need, and I'm not being funny now. We need a proven goal scorer, and I think this season, with Nottingham Forest being so high up in the league, challenging for Champions League, I think they'll not want Dale Taylor back.
Well, the question I'll ask you though is that, so let's say in an ideal situation, Dale Taylor has a chance to join Wigan in the summer. Do you want Dale Taylor to join permanent, or would you rather get Niall Ennis? Who would you rather?
Can I say both?
Okay.
I'd say both because they're both proven goal scorers.
Yeah, definitely.
Taylor scored 10 this season.
Yeah.
And there was a question on the quiz yesterday. Who is Wigan's top scorer, and how many has he got?
Dale Taylor, isn't it? 9? Is it now 9?
It is Dale Taylor, and he's got 10.
10, not bad. He's brought those figures. For you, that case, would you, if you could choose one, Kurt, Ennis or Dale Taylor?
Well, it's a complex one really, because you think about it. We've had Dale Taylor all season. You're saying he scored about 10 goals, but what I would like to say is obviously Niall Ennis at Blackpool. That was a winter transfer move, and he's played 5 games. He's appeared in 5 and scored 4. So I think with Niall Ennis, it's like I think he scores a bit more than Taylor. But then again, I wouldn't really leave that down to him. It's more the link-ups in our team that probably haven't been great as well this season. We've struggled to get forward and that. So having a goal scorer don't really mean nothing if we don't get forward enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true that. I'll take that. I'll accept that.
But from looking at numbers on paper, you'd think prefer Niall Ennis. But I mean, by no means do I not like Dale Taylor. I think he's been great for us this season. Pivotal character.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, yes. All right, well, we'll come back to that in a minute, but final one I want to like is Burton away preview. Early predictions for the game.
Oh, I'm going to that one.
Oh, yeah. You'll have to let us know your thoughts at the game.
So I think I'm saying the way I look at it, I think both teams, Burton are struggling at the minute. They're over and above the relegation zone.
Yeah.
So I think if they win, they're safe.
Yeah, but I mean, it's almost as if Burton's form completely transcended after they got that when he enters back in January. They've been a different team.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. I mean, with Bodvarsson, I think he's turned out to be the saving grace, and I think he will score against us on Tuesday night. I reckon it. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah.
So
Could well happen.
I'm going to go for a sneaky 2-1 win.
I could get behind that. I think, it'd be good to get a bit of revenge. But then again, obviously, do we want Burton to stay up, or would you rather have Bristol Rovers stay up, Ryan? There's a question for you.
Burton.
Fair play.
Because you do not want to be travelling down to Bristol Rovers on a Tuesday night in January.
Well, no, but it's been a nice sort of 6 points for us this season.
Yeah, it has. But then again, would you want to be playing the likes of Birmingham, Wrexham, and Wickham every week?
Well, no, not really. Some would say, it might make more interesting football, but, if we're playing them every week, we probably wouldn't stay up.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's good to have a good variety of teams, and I know I've said that obviously, it's been a good 6 points for us this season, but what I'll never understand is how bad we were in the 23-24 season where we lost 4-1 to them at their ground.
Lost to
Bristol Rovers.
Oh, that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Was that in September?
Yeah, it was in September 2023.
I was in Bulgaria then.
All right.
I was in Bulgaria. What's next one?
Okay, well, what we'll move on to is what I want to ask both of you. What would your dream Wigan window look like in the summer? So what position do you want to fulfill in?
Curtis.
Striker. We need a permanent striker, lads.
Yeah, all three.
Yeah, let's have multiple permanent strikers. Why not?
Well, there you go. There you go.
Right.
For me, I think I agree with Curtis. We need a definite permanent striker.
I think controversial opinions. I think the Academy player Harrison Batones deserves a first team chance at some point soon. In my opinion,
It should deserve a first team chance, but that all boils down to if Ryan Moore wants Harrison Batoni in the squad.
Yeah.
Well, he likes Harry McHugh enough, and he's not very good at my.
Charlie, don't go there with Harry McHugh. Please don't go there.
I think quite a controversial statement. He's one of my favourite players, Robinson. I just admire him massively. He's done so well for us so far.
For me, all right then, here's one for you. Overall ratings this season for goalkeeper Sam Tickle.
Yeah.
How do you think he's played this season?
What, Josh Robinson?
No, Sam Tickle.
I think the first 6 months were decent. Obviously, he's in line to win the Golden Glove. But I do think the last couple of months, I think it's clear that he's a bit lazy now. I think he wants to move in the summer. He just seems a bit like he can't be bothered anymore, to be honest. He's got quite a poor mentality at the moment.
For me, I said it yesterday, didn't I? I said, for me, his handling is one of the best in this league. But his kicking is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, he has got quite a poor distribution, to be fair. I will give you that one.
His kicking is absolutely atrocious. But That's just my opinion. Luke Robinson, for me, does well when playing, but I say he can't tackle. He can't, but he gets away with murder.
Yeah.
I mean, you noticed some of them tackles he were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
He were flying in and missing. Now, as a defender, you're meant to stand your ground, and when the time is right, throw your body on the line, not going with a rush of blood to the head and just try and decapitate somebody.
Absolutely.
Williamson, all right, he's done well when he's played.
Let me just say a quick, Aimson. I cannot believe that he was deemed as the Charlie Q replacement. I don't understand in what planet he compares to Hughes, but
Well, for me, I think we did wrong in selling Charlie Hughes.
Yeah, we did.
But we got a bit of money for him.
We did, but I don't think it was a reasonable amount of money.
And I think is forming a solid partnership with both Jason Kerr and James Carragher.
What, Aimson misses, yeah?
Jameson, this is, yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see a lot more. What one?
Our right back position seems to be the problem.
I think Carragher's been solid the last few months. He's been brilliant this second half of the season. He's done a good job so far, I'd say.
Why the hell have we bought Bobby Simic?
I like Civic. Good player.
He is, but he can't tackle, Charlie. He can't tackle.
Yeah, but see this problem. A lot of Wigan fans have standard Civic, but my point is he's a centre back playing at right back. He's not a natural right back, and I feel like
That is true.
And you can't really stand him too much because I think he's in a role which he's not meant to be in, and I think that ideally he's bound to struggle.
Okay.
I think next season he plays centre back. I think you'll see a massive difference.
I'll let you have that. I'll give you that. Midfield, I think three players need to go.
Who?
Christie.
Yeah.
Scott Smith.
Yeah.
Harry McHugh.
I like Scott Smith. He's a local lad, isn't he? I like Scott Smith. He's something when he wants to be.
He is, but when he's on that pitch and he gets that ball, it's just so he doesn't have a clue what he's doing with it.
Yeah.
I try and keep hold of Babadico.
Yeah. My guy, Babajide.
I'd like to see Johnny Smith get more time on the pitch. But I think because we've got Asamoah, who's rapid, and who else? Jensen Weir. I think Jensen Weir, when his head's in the game, he's a good player. But when he's not, he's absolutely horrendous. We've got Tyrese Francois, who's injured.
Yeah.
We've got Joe Adams, who's injured.
Francois was a pointless signing, I'm not going to lie.
He was, because he's injured, but give him a chance, mate, and he's a quality player on his day.
He is, but I just think that next season, if he is fit, he'll probably be injured and win 2 games again.
True, yeah. I mean, look at Sessignon then.
Ollie?
Look at Steven Sessignon.
Well, I mean, we heard that he signed the new contract in February, but I don't know how true that is, though.
I've heard nothing. I think it's just rumours, mate. I think it is just rumours, but I'll have to ask.
What was the stance on that Sessignon debate? What was it that happened in February?
It basically triggers something in his contract to do another year here.
Right, okay, well,
Well, obviously, I don't think the club said anything about it, but apparently he triggered it, so that's the stance on that one.
Once again, a player who was just never fit, and I mean, he's a good player, Sess, but he's rarely match fit these days.
True. Forwards, that's a joke.
I think if Q Humbo can find fitness consistently, I think he'll be at ball next season.
Yeah, if Humbo can find fitness, like I said, constantly,
He'll be a baller.
he'll be quality.
He will be.
Sign Dale Taylor, permanent. Bring another one, dude.
Do you think Owen Dale is good enough to come back permanently, or do you want to see him go back to Oxford?
Again, Owen Dale. If his head's in the game,
Yeah.
he's quality.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I mean, he has his moments, but I just think that consistently, and he struggles to find that consistent form we need. But yeah, I will give you that.
In the last 4 or 5 games he's played, I've not seen him. It's like he's gone back to Oxford.
Yeah.
He's just been invisible. Will Goodwin, don't get me started on him. What a pointless signing he was.
Nah, well, I mean, look, he scored 5 goals in 4 games. He was all right at first.
What a pointless signing he was. Why can we not get him? Why can we not get him from Preston? Can we not get him from Preston?
Who?
Is it Croatian or Austrian?
What, Osmanjic?
Yeah.
He's from Montenegro.
Oh, Montenegro. I'd take him.
Where? Where's that?
It's from Montenegro.
Wait, Ryan, I'm sorry. You think we'll sign Milutin Osmanjic?
I hope we do.
You think we'll be able to? I mean, he's a massive championship star. I can't see him signing.
Yeah, I know that, but if we can strike a deal with Preston and say, right, okay, you can have any
Lee Robinson.
But what if they turn around and say they want Sam Tickle because Freddie Woodman's out of contract?
I'd say, pay off, you're not having him.
I'd say that. I'd have to tell. No.
But then again, who would you like us to buy?
I think goalkeeper. I don't know really. I mean, Pickles are 1 in a million. He's one of the best EFL keepers around. I don't think there's many goalkeepers that compare to him. I think if we're going to get a goalkeeper, it'll probably be someone a bit older with a bit of experience, maybe. No one young, I don't think. I mean, what do you think about front case? Santiago replacement options?
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with what sort of replacements we could get in for him. I think I did see some suggestion the other day, and I can't remember what team they were playing for, but people were just shutting it down. But yeah, I mean, I think with Sam Tickle, you were talking about him earlier, now you think his mentality's changed a bit. And I do feel like since the Maloney sacking and him liking that comment on one of the posts about the statement, I think his mindset seems to have changed a bit. But I mean, past game or two, clean sheets, it's not too bad. But, you're also saying about his distribution being potentially poor. Well, if there's still stuff for him to work on, maybe we could potentially get another season out of him if we're lucky, or maybe half. I mean, like you say, we're getting used to the reality that he could be going in summer, but
Yeah.
when you're looking at stuff like that, some teams might be like, would we give him, first team chances, or would he just be sat on the bench all the time? I think with Sam Tickle, it's quite evident he prefers game time. Otherwise, he'd have been long gone.
Well, yeah, that's good. I will agree with that, Curtis. I will agree with that comment, my friend. But like I said, if he went to Arsenal, he'd be on the bench.
Yeah, definitely. Nah, third choice. He'd be first choice at Arsenal. But sorry, not first. Third choice.
If he went to Preston, that would be a bad move.
Would it though? I mean, Woodman's contract.
Yeah, because why would Preston want to get rid of Is it Eastman?
Woodman.
Woodman. Why? Yeah. Why would Preston want to get rid of Woodman?
Well, I think his contract's banned, but he's injured, so I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, this is the thing, because unless they strike a new deal with him, he has already played his last game. Because if I remember reading up correctly, his injuries, until the end of the season at least. So it's like, if they don't strike something up with him, he's already played his last game for them.
All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate you listening. But we have gone a little bit off topic, but it is what it is. But thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate it.
No worries. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, people who are listening to this, get subscribing to these boys.
That's the spirit, Ryan.
Because Curtis and Charlie are two young lads who are doing the best, and they'll just love everything about football. So, if you're listening, get subscribing.
Yep, you heard it here.
Yeah, please, everyone, please. But thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video, podcast, dude.